guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're analyzing another poem. I actually don't have a name for this one yet, so I guess I'll come up for one by the time I post this video. But it's one that I like a lot and one that I think is a little confusing or difficult, which is why I'm choosing to analyze it. My hair is so aggressively round today. I also just cut like 4 inches off of it, so anyway, enough of that. I'm just gonna read the poem and then we'll get started. I have known you all my life. Today I broke the standing rule and wagered that I might go blind to get a better sight of you. My bravery could clip the bind. With self-respect, I'd bid adieu. But instead, you held my eyes, embraced me when I asked you to, reject me if your heart's not mine. But my dismissal, you refused. Now I can't see, I'm far too high, past promise that you're not her groom. I'm clinching an auspicious sign. It flashes gray, it flashes blue, and cracks the door, gives me the right to wait for you under the moon. There's a lot going on there. I probably would have no idea what that meant if I didn't write it. So we're gonna go into my journal. My trusty dusty. I like to take some notes before I analyze, and I did so a few days ago, and I've been so busy with work, so I haven't. Anyway, rambling. Let's start at the beginning. So this whole poem is a metaphor for the sun, which, as I mentioned before, is a recurring character throughout the book. So I'm talking to the sun in both the literal sense and in the figurative sense, with I being the main character. In case I haven't said it before though, throughout the book, certain inanimate objects are recurring characters, the sun being one, the flower being one, an asteroid being one, things that I assign to people who were important to me or altering to me at the period of my life when I was writing about this stuff. So the sun is one of those characters, and there are several poems like this one that use the relationship between the sun and the main character, who's a flower, to mirror or parody the relationship that was going on in real life. And also, these objects weren't chosen randomly. They also mirror how a sun and a flower might exist in the real world, have a relationship in the real world, or how, you know, the other objects that recur might exist in the real world. Now that that's said, let's just jump right into the beginning. The first line, I have known you all my life. Today I broke the standing rule and wagered that I might go blind to get a better sight of you. So I love this little stanza. Oh, I also wanted to show people who don't have the book. Sorry, my brain's all over the place and I'm just embracing it right now because that's all I can do, really. I love how this poem is structured. It's kind of like a stepping stone, and I like how I don't know, we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere. So we're taught from birth, don't look at the sun or you'll hurt your eyes or you'll go blind. Or at least as far back as I can remember, that's been like a tenet. We might not even have to be taught explicitly. We're not taught explicitly as babies, as infants. We know that looking at something that bright hurts, so we don't look at it. It's an intuitive understanding, and honestly, I think probably babies or infants, they don't feel temptation to look at the sun because it's just, their eyes wander and they know that hurts. The temptation to look at the sun, I think, comes later when you're a kid and when you can think for yourself, when you're like, why can't I look at the sun? And that's when you're like, you know, starting to steal glances and stuff like that. You start to get a little bit more comfortable, or you know that you can look at the sun sometimes, like when the sun is setting or when it's rising. You know there are certain boundaries that you can cross, and so you do cross those. And then the fact that you can cross those boundaries makes you want to push other boundaries, perhaps. Like maybe I can look at the sun at 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. Maybe I can look at 4 p.m. Maybe I can get a quick glance at noon. This is so funny. Also, my flash is on my camera and I like can't see. I'm literally going blind, which is poetic, I think. So applying that kind of thought process to these first 4 lines, I have known you all my life, the sun's in your life forever. Today I broke the standing rule and wagered that I might go blind to get a better sight of you. I looked at the sun. That was risky. There was a person in my life who felt like that. Like there were certainly some boundaries but from a certain angle, I could see clearly. I could look for an extended period of time, and after certain hours, there was an invitation to get to know him better, but only under certain circumstances. Getting close to that person felt like looking at the sun, and also felt like the sun in other ways, warm and energizing. But also, if you get too close, look too hot, look too long, dangerous, harmful, will burn you perhaps. Anyway, moving on to the second sort of stanza, I guess. Oh, I stopped, so I guess the rest is gonna be off the dome. I got an idea for something else, and so I just started writing it in the middle of me analyzing that poem. It triggered something, I guess. So, new idea dropping soon. My bravery could clip the bind. With self-respect, I'd bid adieu. But instead, you held my eyes, embraced me when I asked you to. So, in this next 4 lines, I'm saying basically, my bravery could clip the bind. That's me saying, looking at the sun could be dangerous, could be fatal for our relationship. Like, it might be too much, might be too soon, might be too anything. And that would end what we have now. It would clip the bind. But I was willing to accept that. With self-respect, I would say goodbye. I would bid adieu, because I saw what I wanted to see. I had to see the sun, and so I did, and I was willing to go blind for it. So if I did go blind with it, and it was over, and that ended things, so be it, I guess. With self-respect, I bid adieu, but instead, you held my eyes, embraced me when I asked you to. Well, spoiler alert, it did not go blind, even though I was willing to. Have you ever asked someone a question, or maybe confessed something to someone, and you knew that depending on how they felt, like, things could get really awkward or like bad or something if they didn't reciprocate, or they didn't like what you were saying? This dance is kind of about that sort of experience. Giving someone something you don't know if it's going to be reciprocated, and you decide to do it anyway because it's worth finding out if it's going to work for you. But instead, you held my eyes, so I guess it did work for me. Embraced me when I asked you to. Okay, we didn't get rejected. Yes! We didn't get rejected. That's good. The sun didn't blind us. Okay, moving on. Sorry, it's really hard to see. Reject me if your heart's not mine, but my dismissal you refused. Okay, so now I'm getting a little bit more context. Not only did you embrace me when I asked you to, but you also embraced me when I specifically asked you to reject me if your heart's not mine. I said, don't give it to me sweet. Don't. Like, literally tell me how it is. Embrace me when I asked you to reject me if your heart's not mine. Okay, period. But my dismissal, you refused. But you didn't tell me no. You didn't say, again, we're just getting more context. We weren't rejected. And it like was clear, you know, it wasn't like maybe, sorry, I might blind you a little bit later. If you look a little more, a little longer, a little closer, you'll get there. No, it wasn't that. My dismissal, you refused. Now I can't see. I'm far too high. I literally can't see. That's so funny. I can't see, but not because you blinded me, or at least that's what I think. I can't see because I'm far too high in the sky, / elated, like high in the, we know when things are so good you can't see clearly, like you're just rose-colored glasses on everything. I'm vibrating too high. Now I can't see. I'm far too high. But also maybe you are blind a little bit. Maybe the sun wasn't being super genuine, and maybe you can't see clearly. But I can't see, I'm far too high, past a promise that you're not her groom. Now, what does that mean? I can't see past the promise that you're not her groom. And now, as a poet, I have to decide if I'm gonna clarify things or not. I think I will a little bit. So the sun who we're talking to made me a promise. That's what I'm gleaning. Promised me that the sun is not someone else's groom. Okay, that sounds like The sun is saying, I don't belong to anyone. I'm just the sun, you know? And even if there might be evidence to the contrary, I can't see it because I'm just on cloud nine. I'm literally on cloud nine, like in the clouds. I'm in the sky with the sun. So I can't see past. That's interesting. The word past is interesting. Like I can't see past this because it can both mean like I'm not getting over it. Like I can't get past this. But it can also mean like I'm so short-sighted. This is all I'm seeing. And I think that that's actually how this is intended here. I can't see past the promise that you're not her groom. I'm just holding on to what you told me. I'm not looking elsewhere. I'm just looking at the words you said to me when I looked at the sun. I'm clinching an auspicious sign. It flashes gray, it flashes blue. Okay, so not only am I not seeing past this promise that you told me, I'm clinching, I'm holding on desperately to an auspicious sign, to something that is signaling that this is a good thing, that this will turn out good. I'm clinching it. I'm desperately holding on to it. Why are you desperately holding on to it? Probably because it's not secure. Probably because it's not secure. I'm clinching an auspicious sign. And the other thing about signs is that they're very unreliable. It's a sign. It's a sign. You know how many times I say that? It's not a sign, Zoe. It's not. But it feels like it is. And I want it to be one. And I'm listening to the words that you're telling me, your promises. So I'm clinching the sign. Holding on tightly, dearly to the sign. It flashes gray, it flashes blue. This is this is like nobody would ever get this, but I love this line, so I kept it in there. I was referencing iMessage text messages. You know how when you type something it's blue and the other person types something it's gray? We're texting. It flashes gray, it flashes blue. Maybe the sign itself is that we are talking. Maybe it's something that was said in the messages. Whatever it is, it's giving me hope. Our text thread, it's giving me hope. I also like gray and blue because we're in the sky, and it flashes gray, it flashes blue, makes me think of like clouds, like a cloudy day versus a clear day. Something's moving and I don't know. Is it good weather in here? I don't know. Like, are we smooth sailing or is a storm coming? It's flashing gray, it's flashing blue. That, ladies and gentlemen, that would take 3 hours to discover in an 11th grade English lit class. But someone would come up with it and write about it, and it would be a really great essay. I'm clinching an auspicious sign. It flashes gray, it flashes blue, and cracks the door, gives me the right to wait for you under the moon. So this auspicious sign is cracking the door and giving me the right to wait for you. So this feels clearer to me. You know, people use open doors or closed doors as metaphors for entrances to opportunities. The door's closed on that option. Wow, a whole new door just opened. Like, it's all about opportunity. So this auspicious sign that I'm seeing, and that is flashing gray and flashing blue, and that maybe isn't so secure. Is it gonna storm? Is it not? I don't know. But it's enough to crack the door. It's enough to crack a door open. And because that door is open, I have the right, or I feel like I have the right to wait for you, whatever that means. What does wait for you mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could mean to literally just be here. Sometimes you don't always have the right to just literally be here. Who waits on you? Like, your lover waits on you, your parents wait on you, your friends wait on you, people who are important. Yeah, I'm waiting on Zoe. Oh, okay. Under the moon. What's going on there? So the moon is another character who's recurring throughout the book. I don't know. I think that line ends intentionally, a little bit mysteriously. I'm waiting under the moon. What does that mean? Who is the moon? What is the moon? I know the moon is a she in Greek literature, and I love Greek literature. It's also a recurring reference points throughout the book. But what does under the moon make? I think under can mean beneath, can mean subjugated to, and I'm waiting there under her. I feel like you catch my drift. So yeah, that's that poem. I think it's really interesting and fun, honestly. I don't really remember writing it. Well, I kind of do, but I don't know why I wrote it. Why do I write anything? What am I talking about? Okay, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.